Paso is classified as a health professional shortage area. That's a way of saying that great doctors, there aren't enough of them to serve the area. And that is why the Foster School of Medicine and the entire Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso is so important. Dr. Lang is with us talking about this. When we talk about a shortage, we're talking about a crisis.
Well, we are, especially in El Paso, because that health professional shortage doesn't extend just to doctors, but it involves nurses and dentists as well. So, for example, before the School of Medicine started here, there was a 75% shortage of doctors compared to the national average, and a 40% shortage of nurses compared to the national average. And by the way, there's a 75% shortage of dentists right now. Now, what the school has done is, since we've been here, we've increased the number of physicians in El Paso by 57%.
Really?
The number of nurses have increased by about 40%. So we're helping to close that gap so that we no longer have to be a health professional shortage area.
When people drive by and they look down at the school, they don't realize how important it is to have a medical school right in the middle of our town. This is invaluable, and it's only going to get more important. What kind of impact does this have on the community?
We like to say it's a gem, and it is for a number of reasons. One is we offer educational opportunities here in El Paso. A lot of students wouldn't be able to leave to go elsewhere to attend medical, or wouldn't be invited to. But they train here in an area that they're comfortable with and they're culturally competent. And so when they train here, they're more likely to stay here. It benefits the community because they receive state-of-the-art care and specialists that weren't here in El Paso before we started the medical school. And then finally, the economic impact as well. Each year, about $227 million annually economic impact for the medical school. When the dental school starts, another 60 to 90 million. The most important thing I'd say is lives change. The people that graduate from here, their lives are never the same. The people that get treated by individuals here, they're never the same.
40 students, that's what you started with back in 2009. You've gotten a little bigger. You're handling a bigger load. Talk about your student body now, and now as the prestige rises of your different schools of health services and sciences, you've got more demand. You've got more slots, but more people wanting to come. Talk about that. And how, and more importantly, do local students get a shot at coming?
Well, those are all great questions. We started with 40 students. We now have 1,200 students. That's over just a 12-year period. By the way, we're going to continue to grow. Our nursing classes will grow and the medical students will increase about another 50% as well. We've already had 1,500 graduates, and many of them, I'd say for the nurses, most of them stay here in the area to practice as well. So all of that is, I guess it speaks to the fact that if you pick the right individuals that share our mission and want to invest in the community and enjoy an innovative curriculum, they're more likely to stay.
Every single student, you say, is required to go out into the El Paso area and identify a problem and then solve it. What do you mean?
Right, so before every other medical school in Texas starts, we start a month early. We start immersion Spanish, they can begin on the right foot, and we send them in the community to assess what the needs are. Because as physicians, we're meeting needs. Those medical needs occur in a social context. So they identify a problem, and then they have to design a project that fixes that problem and addresses it.
Incredible. Now, you put your medical students on task, hands-on, right away. The soonest in the country, you were saying.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes. As we have people seeing patients 6 weeks after they've started medical school. So we have standardized patients, and they teach our students how to have bedside manner, what questions to ask, and how do you approach somebody. And they'll emulate different disease processes so the students can learn to interview and examine them as well. And this occurs early on. We want to integrate the knowledge with actually the experience as well, because it sticks. And it means something, by the way. And it's attached to a person, not to a book.
You're not just fixing the physical person, usually. It's more than that. It's spiritual, too. And you usually have a family there. So if they can speak freely in Spanish to a family that might be terrified, what about that empathy factor? How does the school teach the human side?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned that. The very first lecture they get is I have the opportunity to spend some time with them. And I say, when you leave here, you will be a caring and competent physician. And if you miss either of those qualities, you're not really a physician. So from the very beginning, they're taught to care about the patients and their families as well. And some of those patients, by the way, that we standardize, we're training students on, we teach them how to give bad news and how to talk about family members and those kinds of things, because it really is not just a physical, it's really the entire context.
It's incredible. What a program. And you're growing your program. You've already talked a little bit about your new School of Dental Medicine coming up. So we're going to talk to Dr. Black, and we're going to get a little tour of that brand new and gorgeous dentist school, the first one in Texas in 50 years.
Right here in El Paso.
Right here in El Paso. Wow. Coming up next.